What's up, YouTube? I know it's been a while. I wish I had better news, but you guys see the graph right here. This is the 30-minute, and this is absolutely terrible. Just an hour and a half ago, we were at 66.30, and now we're at 63.41. So this is an absolute death signal for Bitcoin. Right now, there was a lot of sort of argument in the community whether or not we were going to see a bullish upturn coming into the holiday season, or we were going to see a death plunge. And we saw a death plunge in the stock market today. Now we're seeing a death plunge in the crypto markets. So this is pretty awful if you're still involved in Bitcoin. So let's take this all the way out to the weekly on the log chart and show you what I sort of thought might be going on in this market. Okay, so I mean, this is the log chart for Bitcoin on Coinbase back to 2013. You saw that huge ramp up, the blow off, that accumulation phase, subsequent ramp up into the mania phase. And a lot of people thought, okay, we've come back down, we've sort of met a bottom a few times, and we're ready to break back up. But I was one of those people who thought, no, we still have a ways down. So here's my rationale. Now, none of this is foolproof, but I sort of draw a trend as it corresponds to the angle of the initial ramp up following the accumulation phase. This line is not perfect, but you got to think, here we saw it get some public interest, a lot of blow off, a lot of capitulation, subsequent just despair down to the accumulation phase here. Pretty well acknowledged. So I find the angle of the first ramp up before the breakout above the high. Okay, so the angle of the ramp up before the blue sky breakout, and I take it all the way out here, and I say, in my experience looking at these markets, when they get to a mania phase and a blow off, it has to crash all the way back through everything. And when I say that, I mean all of these support levels you've heard people talking about. These guys will have the daily chart open, and they'll be looking at that mania phase of Bitcoin, and they'll have support here at like 12,000, and we got another support line at 8,000, another at 5,500, and then maybe even another down here like 45, 35, whatever. All of these are nice points to buy if you're looking for a short-term trade, but by no means like a buy and hold for a long-term strategy, at least in my opinion. I think we got to come all the way back through this. More specifically, though, if you went to the linear chart, I think the linear chart had a lot of people fooled. I think a lot of people don't recognize the importance of the log chart, but a lot of people were drawing something like this, roughly, right? About like that. And then we had something like here, some kind of angle here. And as we came down to this tightening here, pretty much, a lot of people were saying pretty much classic, this triangle pinch, but or what they call it, ascending triangle. But the downward angle is steeper, and I know that's just the most blue collar term ever. But today we see a huge indicator. Look at the way that the Bitcoin just kept testing the top end of this trend. Okay, it came back, tested here, sort of the first point, all the way down, back up there. Certainly 4 times it comes back. It's on it, and I'm sorry, it's just too much pressure. And I mean, we're down to 63.20. This is completely awful. I'm actually excited about it. I am out of cryptocurrency right now. I sold out of it, so I am hoping this comes down as far as possible, and it will give me time to buy it over the next year. So I'm not upset about this at all. I'm out of the market, but gee. Man, we're barely holding above 6,300. Now, for some fun, let's take it to the minute chart. Okay, it looks like we definitely pretty much free fell all the way to 6,350, and then saw some pretty solid buy volume here. This is on Bitfinex. It really doesn't matter. Maybe there's some anomaly volume on some exchanges, but yeah, it's pretty universal. But it looks like we just blasted through any support that might have been in the 6,400 level with just a 1-minute candle and are continuing what appears to be a free fall. So, guys, I have no idea how far this is going to go. And Jesus, it just fell below 6,300. Holy shit. Here's my cursing, but sometimes you just got to say it how it is. I'm going to take it back to the 4 hour and try to see if there's any sort of indicator that there's going to be some. I would say 6,000. I think we'll see at least a little break in this drop before, at least to keep it for a day. But guys, I mean, look at this before. That before. You think it's coming back up and just brick wall. And this one, this didn't even have any bullish energy. Like, look at it. It's not even, it's just hanging out. I mean, it's inside of the little triangle, I guess. But, what I love about this, and by no means is this any way to predict price, but it can be useful for giving you a visual of how something might look. Okay, while I'm doing this, I should do it with the log chart. So, I think I clicked the wrong button. That's never helpful. So, just to put things in sort of like a visual perspective, if this crash looks like the last one, 5,600, and taking that back, I mean, that's not unrealistic. I honestly think we're going to see a market that takes us to meet this bottom here. And so taking it back out to the weekly, I'm going to use that little bar pattern copier to show you what I think, my most humble of opinions, is likely to happen with Bitcoin and the reasons. Okay, this isn't all just made up. I got some reasons here. Hear me out. So, and you guys probably get the idea of what I'm doing. My connection's getting real stupid slow here, but quite something like this, where we have to break underneath this trend, accumulate for a while, and then begin to tick back up. And the good thing about this is, in the long run, is that this is going to give cryptocurrency enough time to develop as a technology, and that's what I'm actually really excited about, because nobody was using this shit. Give it some time to develop. Give it some time to actually justify being worth what it was, and then, if my internet gets any slower, this is going to be impossible. I'm about to have to end this video. But you guys see what I'm getting at, where those John McAfee predictions of Bitcoin being $250,000, patience. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go this high, but reaching a previous top, I mean, come on, certainly likely. The technology hasn't gone anywhere. So, guys, I'm thinking, if you're out of it, be happy, watch it fall. I would, anywhere below 4,000, I might really consider starting to accumulate. And on this little projection, it's saying like after the end of the year. So, guys, take any profits you have left, put it on hold for the holidays, take a vacation, and come back and look at this in 2019 when the market has come down, when all the short-term people have shaken out of the market, and it's only the smart money. You want to get in when there's still the smart money. Right now, it's smart money and it's capitulators. And that's exactly what happens. I mean, one thing we can learn about the previous mania phase and blow off is there was the initial very steep drop, and there was some capitulation. Now, I don't think we're going to see the same amount of capitulation here, but I think that capitulation, if I want to use that word one more time, I think that capitulation kept this price inflated a bit. And now that the stock market's taking a turn, so I mean, who knows how far this could go. I mean, it might very well meet this line and stay closer to it, but you never know. Art could just completely go to nothing. So, guys, it's a hard day if you're still in Bitcoin. Hope you got out. Oh, I turn off my video. There we go.